In today's video, I'm making a gorgeous arrangement like this with these brightly coloured, really vibrant cerise gerbera. If you want to learn how to make it, keep watching. Welcome back to today's tutorial, and I try to think of a different idea each week so that you can learn lots of different methods and lots of different techniques. And I've been sorting through some of my old containers to see what needs to be recycled or got rid of. I have so many containers, I do have to take that time once every few months just to sort through everything and decide whether anything needs to go in the bin or get sent to the charity shop. Now this is a container that's quite old. I had it for a workshop many years ago and I absolutely love the colour on it. It's almost like a tapestry sort of effect, and when I was sorting through, I realised that the colour link with my Gerbera was absolutely fantastic. Now, if you've got a very busy container like this with lots of colours going on in the bottom, it's best to pick one colour or maybe two that complement the base of the container rather than trying to find something that represents every colour. Now, I'm going to use mainly that cerise orchid. It's not an orchid. I'm going to use that cerise gerbera, which is going to give me a really lovely link between the top and the bottom. And in flower arranging and floristry, we call that repetition. When something is on the top and in the bottom, it helps to create a link between the flower arrangement and the container itself. And I'm possibly going to add in a few of these red twigs. Now, in the picture that you saw at the very beginning with the introduction, I didn't have the red twigs, but I did feel that it was quite a nice colour, and there's a possibility I might add them in at the end, but I'm a bit undecided. Now this gorgeous arrangement that I'm doing today has been done a few times by my Tuesday and Wednesday class here in the studio, and they always really love it. And there's a few interpretations or different versions that you could do at home, and it looks particularly nice if you have a candle in the middle and you spiral your flowers around the candle, and it looks amazing with an alcohol bottle in the middle. So if you're giving somebody a gift, it could be a wedding anniversary or a birthday gift, particularly maybe if it's somebody young, they might have just graduated or they could be celebrating a big birthday. You can anchor a bottle there in the middle, and then you can spiral the flowers around the outside. Now I am using Gerbera, but you could do this with any flower. It looks lovely with a single rose, but what I would suggest is that you do it with one flower and one flower type. Don't try and mix and match different flowers, because you lose that really modern effect that we're trying to create by having too many different flowers in it. Single rose, a Gerbera, a carnation even work particularly well. So there is plenty of option for you for whatever flower you can get hold of. I would probably avoid those country type flowers like September and Gypsophilia and Aster, because they don't give a bold enough effect in this particular design. Okay, so let's talk about my floral foam. I've raised it slightly above the container edge because I want to have a frill of greenery around the outside. I'm going to be using leather leaf today, but again, stick to a single foliage and try not to mess it up and complicate it by adding lots of different varieties of foliage. So I have a piece of floral foam, and in hindsight, I think I probably would have been better having the foam on its side so that the foam was wider. I'm thinking now that I've limited the amount of space I've got in the top to create my design. But it's in there now and I'm going to work with it. And just down the side of that block of foam, I've put two older pieces of foam that are offcuts just to stop this moving around. If you add tape over the top, then you're limiting the placement of where your flowers can go, because the tape is going to be preventing you inserting flowers. So I think that's quite secure, and I'm hoping I've left myself a wide enough piece of foam. Right. This is very much like a staircase. If you think about your newel post in the middle, and then we're going to do steps around the outside. So think about one of those wrought iron staircases, those spiral staircases that are quite often outside buildings, could even be a fire escape. And we're going to place our flower heads in a pattern coming round the arrangement. Now I'm going to do this more as a front facing design. But you can do this as an all-round arrangement if you want to sit it in the center of a table. But it works a little bit better on YouTube if you can see it from one side. Now, don't forget, if you're new here, you can subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new tutorial. And like and share, comment in the box at the end. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Now, I'm going to start by creating a center section or what I'm going to call the newel post, because it's almost like that wooden support you have in the center of your stairs. And what I'm going to use is some formiums. These are formium tenax or New Zealand flax, and I've chosen them because there's a little bit of a reddy cerise edge which work quite well with my gerbera, and the center of my gerbera is dark, so the two together again create quite a nice link. So I've looked at my flower and I've thought about a colour that would link quite nicely with it, rather than going out and picking some random foliage. Formium tenax or New Zealand flax grow really well here in the UK, particularly for me because I'm on the coast and they really love the salty sea air. Now I'm going to cut the base to a point, because that means there's less foliage taking up room in my floral foam and it tends to sit nicer. And I've rotated the tops over and stapled them into position. That's not a new technique. It's probably something that you've seen before. And I know I have mentioned it, but if you want to see some more of these methods, these manipulation of foliage, write in the comment box below and I will do a separate video. And what I'm going to do is keep them really tight together in the middle so that they create that column effect in the center. And I finished them all off at different heights so that we don't get that really solid finish to our design. Our eye is slightly staggered downwards. Now my gerbera have already been cut because I did do them in last night's class. So I've got a bit of an advantage in that I've already worked out the size of the spiral that I'm going to create. And what you need to do is start with one gerbera or rose or carnation, whatever you choose to use, straight up there in the middle. That's the tallest I'm going to go. And then I'm going to step them down and around the front in almost like a spiral. So if you don't have them pre-cut like I already have, then you're looking to try and get them into the foam so that the gap in between them all is the same. And if you're using a rose, it's much easier because you can use the height of the rose head itself to estimate where the next placed head is going to go. I've done this almost by guessing the next position. This one needs to be a bit shorter. So my plan didn't quite go the way I wanted it to then. Oh, I've got the same sort of gap. It's maybe an inch in between each head, and I'm going to keep bringing them around the front in that spiraled position. Now there's lots of confusing information out there about gerbera. Lots of information that you will read will tell you to cut a gerbera at an angle, and when it's going into foam, it should be cut straight across. If you cut that at an angle and then try and insert it into the foam, you'll find that the end of the gerbera is too weak and it doesn't go into the foam as well as you would want it to go. A little bit shorter with that one. And it just goes to show that I've done this arrangement once before and I'm using the same gerbera that have been pre-cut from that previous arrangement. But my positioning is obviously different because I'm having to cut the gerberas as I'm placing them in. So I started off straight, and then as I start to swing around the front, I'm angling them more forward, and that's what helps to give your arrangement that depth. Going back to the gerbera, they're very, very susceptible to bacteria. They don't like dirty containers, they don't like dirty scissors, and they're very sensitive to ethylene gas. And if you want more information on care and conditioning techniques, then I do have an ebook. It's like a digital download that you can buy from Stan Store, and I'll link that at the end. And that gives you lots of hints and tips on how to look after your different types of flowers. Now I'm currently using a scissors. But if you are looking to train as a florist or you want to improve your skills, then a sharp florist knife is much better for a gerbera because it doesn't damage the stem when you're forcing the scissors down on that stem. It's gentler, sharper and more effective at cutting the flower. And if you're a florist, you'll work much quicker with a knife than you will with the scissors. Now that is definitely different to the way I did it in the class a few nights ago. I've gone much wider with it, but that's okay. You've now got two photos to look at the end that you can compare. So next I'm going to use the shorter gerbera and I'm going to bring those in the middle to thicken up that center part so that the base part of my arrangement is going to be thicker. Bit definitely different to the photograph that we showed you at the beginning, but it just goes to show that even the so-called experts find it difficult to make the same arrangement twice. So I've just created there a more heavier section there at the bottom, which does look quite nice and I am quite happy with it. But because I think I've come around further on this side than I did on the previous design, we've almost lost this top gerbera when we're looking at it from the front. So I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to bring it more towards the front there where you can see it more clearly. So I'm just sort of adapting the arrangement as I go along. And then where the gap is too wide in this position here, so I've got a much bigger gap on this side and this side than I have in this section here, I'm going to lower this one down and then put another one in the gap. Now gerbera are an example of a flower that is a soft stem and it has lots of hairs on the outside of the stem. So the stems can rot quite quickly if they're placed in water that's too deep. So if you are looking after gerbera, always put them in a shallow vase of water. Don't overfill that vase. Otherwise, those little hairs that are on the outside will collect all the water and then the stem will eventually rot. Now, I haven't wired any of these. You can, of course, take a wire down the outside of a gerbera, but because I've conditioned them properly and I've used flower food that is designed for gerbera, I know that they're going to stand up really well and I'm not going to have any problems with them at all. So I'm quite happy with the way the spiral has turned out. It starts tall and it sweeps around all the way down to the bottom. I've now got to think about covering my foam and make sure that I've got some colour in the base here to draw your eye downwards. And to do that, I'm going to put a gerbera flat down on the floral foam. I might need more than one, but that's going to sit right in the middle. It's going to do two things. It's going to draw your eye down to the bottom, which is called recession. It gives the design depth. It's also a very quick and easy way of covering my floral foam. So if I just spin that round, you can see at the back I've still got a lot of floral foam to cover, but I'm going to do that now with my leather leaf. Now, if you haven't seen leather leaf before, it looks like this. This is a gorgeous florist foliage. If you're in the tropics and you're somewhere where it's quite humid and warm, you might have this growing in the garden. But what I need to be careful of is that I don't put too many thick pieces at the top. It's going to draw your eye outwards and it's going to spoil that spiraled effect. So I've almost got to keep it quite close to my gerbera so that I don't lose that really elegant line that I've created. Now, if you've been following me for a long time, I talk a lot about the elements and principles of design. And the elements and principles of design are almost like our rule book that we follow to learn and understand floral design. And one of the elements is line. And what I've created here is a focal line. So it makes your eye travel and curve around to follow those really beautiful, vibrant gerbera. And that's why it's important now that I don't lose that line by adding in too many fussy foliages, which will lose that elegant line that I've created. So it's important with a design like this that you choose flowers and foliages that create that overall effect that you're trying to achieve. Adding in alstroemeria or gypsophilia or lots of busy flowers at this stage is really going to make this design look quite untidy. So I'm going to keep Keep working right the way down to the bottom. I'm going to slightly fan this out as we come more towards the base so that it comes out towards where the wider Gerberas are there at the front. I've of course got that very busy container on the bottom, so we don't want to overfill and really mess it up and make it look too traditional. I'm going to keep going here with the greenery right the way round, following that lovely curve of my Gerbera until I get all the way around to the back, and then I know that all of my foam is covered. If you haven't been on one of my tutorials before, then hi, my name is Sharon. Not only do I teach you on YouTube in a simplified manner, but I also teach loads of online courses. So if you want to expand your skills, then pop over to the website sharondower.com and you can see what courses I've got available. And I also do consultations. If you want to kickstart your business or you want to ask some questions about anything to do with floristry really, or flower arranging, then you can book on and have an hour's consultation with me. And you get the opportunity to ask lots of questions. So I'm just going to fill out this side part here because I think it needs to be slightly thickened out in this area here. But I'm almost now at the end. I decided today to put a dress on because the sun was out and I thought, oh, it's going to be the first chance this year I'm going to be able to get a summer dress on. And what's happened? It's rained nearly all day. So I think I've jinxed the weather and we're going to have an absolute downpour in a minute, which is a bit of a shame. So I just spent a couple of minutes fiddling to get those into position, and I've got two little Gerberas here that were cut short from that previous arrangement I did in the class. So I might as well use them up there in the centre, and I might as well add this one in right at the end so that that colour is brought all the way round. And I'm quite glad I made the decision to put the red twigs in, which I didn't do when I did this in the class here in the studio. But I'm thinking that texture just in front, that sort of spiky texture, just in front of that flat phormium leaf there at the back is going to work quite well. Now you could take this to another level and bring in another single colour of flowers around the outside to make it larger and wider. But I'm always quite happy with just that single flower. And you might not get Gerberas from a supermarket, but you'll definitely be able to buy them from a florist shop. And with not a huge amount of flowers, I've created what I think is quite a stunning, very modern type of arrangement. I hope you've enjoyed that one. It is at this stage that I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to be told every time I upload a new tutorial, and like and share, tell as many people as you possibly can. Share on your social media if you have one. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comment box and I'll answer as quickly as I can. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you again very soon.